You solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
You may have a seat, sir.
Sweet. Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Hello there.
How you doing?
Could you please introduce yourself to our jury?
How you doing? My name is Detective John Dalton.
Where do you work?
I work for the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office in the Traffic Homicide Unit.
How long have you been with Miami-Dade, well, initially Police Department and now Sheriff's Office?
Working on my 31st year.
Could you explain to the jurors what was your initial assignment within that agency?
Initially, when I started, I was on road patrol.
About how long were you a road patrol officer?
Approximately 4 years.
After that, did you want to switch gears and do a different type of police work?
Yes, ma'am. I went into investigations.
Can you tell some of the jurors different types of investigations that you've handled?
I did
Up to when you went to traffic homicide.
general investigations, shooting, stabbings, burglaries. I did prostitution. I did,
Wait a minute. You did prostitution?
well, I was actually a certified decoy doing the prostitution details.
Okay.
So I worked prostitution. I did street level narcotics. Again, shooting, stabbings, burglaries. Just general investigative work.
Are you familiar with the term FTO?
Yes.
What is an FTO?
A field training officer.
What are your responsibilities if you're an FTO?
You're actually an officer that works on the road that trains all the new officers that are coming out to basically get them up to speed on being an actual one-man effective officer on the street.
For how long were you an FTO?
Off and on, probably 4 years.
I want to ask if in 2016 you wound up going to another investigative unit within your department.
Yes, I did. I went to traffic homicide.
How many times have you worked in the traffic homicide unit?
Twice. I'm on my second round.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, the first time that you were in the traffic homicide unit, and for shorthand, do you all call it the THU?
Yeah, THU.
How long were you in the THU the first time?
From 2016 to 2020.
Okay. And then did you go somewhere else within your agency?
Yes, I went to Marine Patrol
How long did you stay in Marine Patrol?
from 2020 to 2024.
And then where did you go in 2024?
I went back to traffic homicide.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about the training that was required for you to become a member of the traffic homicide unit?
So far, it's an ongoing training. We take training classes every year. So far, I've had just shy of 400 hours of training. It's in basic crash investigation, traffic crash reconstruction, at scene, occupant kinematics, which is like what an occupant in a vehicle does during a crash, along with pedestrians, bicycles. There's several courses that we take throughout the years.
Do you learn about using math calculations in order to help reconstruct a crash scene?
Yes, trigonometry.
Also, how about photography?
We do photography. We do all of our own photographing of all of our own scenes and everything, so we take a photography class as well.
Are you familiar with the term total station?
Yes.
Can you explain to the jurors what is total station for measurements?
You probably all have seen one and don't realize what it is. You've seen the land surveyors on the side of the road have the tripod set up with the machine. So that machine is made by a company. It's several different companies. The ones we use are Nikon, and it's an actual electronic machine that measures a specific point that you look through an oracle. You place the crosshairs on a specific point, and it actually takes an exact measurement from where that tripod is to that exact point.
Would that be the orange poles that people hold up?
Yes, you can either shoot a pole that another detective is holding for your exact point, or you can shoot actual solid marks that you have, like a telephone poles or curbing or anything like that, something that's not going to move.
Can you tell the jurors, within the traffic homicide unit, if a fatal crash happens, how is it decided who's going to lead up that investigation?
It rotates. It's on a rotation. It depends really on who's up, who has the more cases or the least amount of cases. But for the most part, it rotates. In our traffic homicide unit, the day shift where I work, we have 4 detectives and 1 supervisor, and then afternoons has 4 detectives and 1 supervisor, and we rotate amongst us.
About how many cases of fatal traffic crashes have you been the lead investigator on?
Probably upwards over 200.
And how many fatal traffic crashes have you assisted with?
Oh, over 800.
In addition to investigating how a traffic crash happens, do you also have to perform a function called NOK notifications?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you explain what that is?
NOK stands for next of kin notifications. That's where we, myself and then the backup detective and usually supervisor respond to the house of the victims, and then we notify them. It's probably one of the most difficult parts of our job. We notify the victim's family that one of their loved ones has passed away in a crash. It's generally a tragic event. It's not expected.
I want to talk a little bit about your time with Marine Patrol. You were there for about how long?
4 years approximately.
Why did you go into the Marine Patrol unit?
So I did my 25 years with the police department, and then we have a thing called DROP, Deferred Retirement Program. So traffic homicide is a very grueling, very taxing unit. You are on call every other week, and it's on call long hours. You get called out any hour of the night. Sometimes I would leave the house, at 6, 7 o'clock in the afternoon. I wouldn't get back till the following day at 6 or 7 at night working one case. If there's leads on it where you're closely developing leads, you will just continue working through the case until you get to the end of it. So when I went into the DROP, I wanted to go to a unit where I could relax a little bit, thinking that Marine Patrol was going to be that unit. And boating has always been one of my things. And I've owned boats since I was 13 years old. I was born and raised in Miami. I've been on boats my whole life. So I wanted to go to a unit that I really enjoyed, doing the out on the water.
Now, as a Marine Patrol officer, were you tasked with the responsibility of investigating a fatal vessel crash?
No, we do not handle fatal. Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office does not handle fatal crashes. We only handle boat crashes that are minor in nature, less than $1,000 with no injuries. Anything with injuries or fatal is going to be with FWC.
Do you think that the training and experience that you had as a traffic homicide investigator was helpful to you when you would investigate vessel crashes, even if death or serious bodily injury did not result?
Yes, because as a traffic homicide investigator, you have a different dynamic of looking at crashes. You definitely have a different way of looking at just even a minor crash. I think to the extent that I've gone so far as I can look at most vehicles as a damage on a vehicle and tell you exactly what happened in the crash. And it does correlate over to boats as well. Even though there's a vast difference between boats and cars, it does correlate over just because it's impact damage. And impact damage is what you normally look at.
Back on September 4th of 2022, were you working as a Marine Patrol officer?
Yes, I was.
Did you get dispatched to a location known as Cutter Bank or Cutter Bank Channel?
Yes, ma'am.
Was that the first time you'd ever been there?
No, ma'am. I've been through Cutter Bank several times. I mean, well over 100 times in my personal and my professional career.
And is that location in Miami-Dade County?
Yes, it is.
Can you describe for the jurors when you arrived to that scene? What were you looking at?
When I arrived, there's several law enforcement vessels, as well as I believe a Coast Guard and I believe there was a fireboat from Ocean Reef was there as well. But there's several law enforcement vessels and they're all rafted together. Rafting together means that they're all tied together. So I was one of the last ones to arrive because I was coming from Miami Beach where I was fueling up the boat. So I arrived and I actually pulled up on the end of the chain of boats that were lined up.
When you're rafting together, like one boat tied to the next, do the boats just stay stationary all by themselves?
No, but obviously it's water. It's fluid. It's dynamic. Everything moves around. So when you raft up, everything is generally still floating, moving around. Nobody's anchored because at any time you need to pull the lines and get moving, especially in this type of situation.
Were you the last in the line of vessels that were rafted up together?
Yes, ma'am. I was the last boat tied up to an FWC boat.
Can you describe what the additional responsibilities are for a vessel operator that's the last of the line for that?
So in general, when you're the last one, you're actually the one that's controlling the movement of the entire line, because if you don't control the movement, the boats can actually wrap around each other and become a problem, because you'll start getting, if they go backwards, engines will start getting into engines and it becomes a problem, or the bows start touching each other. So your job as the last boat in the sequence would be to keep kicking the engines in and out of gear to maintain that line as straight as you can and not allow the vessels to wrap or to get, to put yourself in any type of bad situation or cause damage.
On that particular night, if you're the operator of that vessel, do you stay on that vessel even if there are other vessels and other people that might need help?
I was captaining the vessel. You stay on that vessel because you have to maintain control of your vessel.
Now, at some point while you're there, are a number of teenage girls brought over the rafted boats onto the boat that you were captaining?
Yes, ma'am.
Were any of the girls that came over onto your boat seriously injured?
No, ma'am. They all had minor injuries.
At some point, do you disconnect from all these other vessels and take these girls somewhere else?
Yes, ma'am. So as a rule, a policy for the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office, anytime we put anybody other than law enforcement on our boat, everybody gets provided with a PFD. You all know what they are. It's the personal flotation device or a life vest. The ones we provide are the Coast Guard approved orange life vest. You see them when you go on a cruise. You see them. They're sold by pack. When you buy a new boat, they're sold by a pack. Everybody that enters onto our vessel gets provided with a PFD with a wraparound strap. So all the young ladies were brought over the boat. They were all given a PFD, and they were all advised to sit down on the console's front bench, but only seats 2, and then on the floor in the front.
Where did you take the girls?
To Elliott Key.
Okay. Did you go very fast to get there?
No, ma'am.
Why not?
They were in a panic-stricken moment. They were asking me, please don't drive fast, please, please, please. Please just get us there safely. But they were in a more of a terrified panic state, asking me not to drive fast. And it was getting dark as well.
In that kind of a situation, are you going to use GPS to get you to Elliott Key?
So nightfall was coming on us. A GPS, when it's lit up bright, will blind you to what you're actually looking for. Generally, when you're going to run from one spot to another at nighttime, you're going to use markers. And you're going to use reflective signs on the markers called day markers. So you can use a GPS, but it's going to be very dim, but you don't solely rely on that. You look at your markers while you're running. You're going to be running the ICW channel all the way up.
Is it ever safe to navigate solely looking at your GPS device?
No.
Once you bring the girls over to Elliott Key, are you involved in any further investigation of this case?
No, ma'am.
Now, you mentioned something about that you went to the Marine Patrol Unit because you were kind of, I think, sliding into retirement mode.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you like working there?
In Marine Patrol?
Yes.
Absolutely. It's a great job.
Why did you leave?
I ended up having 3 pinched nerves in my neck. So I suffered some physical setbacks from the constant pounding of the boat. The sun beats on you constantly. It's truly a young man's job. Your knees, and as well as it's very taxing, very fatiguing on the body, being that we work 10-hour shifts and you're required to be on that boat, 7 to 8 hours a day on the boat. It's a taxing job for the operators and the Marine Patrol officers on the boat. So it's very fatiguing to you.
Any sense of how Bobby Bruto lasted so long in Marine Patrol?
No clue. You would have to answer that one for me.
Maybe that he's this tall?
It's possible. The county does take every measure for us. They do give us fatigue pads to stand on, so you're not taking a brutal beating. We do have some boats that have shock-absorbing seats on them to sit down on, but for the most part, you're standing up for most of the time, conducting law enforcement duties.
I want to ask you if, over the course of your career handling traffic crashes, has EDR data become really important in those investigations?
Absolutely.
What's an EDR?
It's an event data recorder, which is a black box. I know you all have heard on an airplane, they always talk about recovering the black box. So vehicles have an EDR, which is a black box in the vehicle as well. It records events such as when you're involved in a crash. It goes back and stores 5 to 10 seconds worth of data on that box. And then we're able to use that with a system that we have to download it. And it tells us exactly what the vehicle was doing, the dynamics of the vehicle, driver inputs, everything to that nature, steering, percentage of gas, percentage of brake, everything basically what happens to that vehicle, as well as speed and impact points. And it also covers change in velocity, which is when there's an impact, it moves at the opposite direction.
Are you familiar with GPS data that is gathered on vessels?
I mean, I know what GPS is,
In
but
terms of knowing what it is, not in terms of,
I know what it is,
Analyze.
but I don't know anything about downloading it or analyze. I've never done that.
but you use GPS in your job?
Yes, ma'am.
Why would you say that it is not safe or that you would not find it prudent to navigate a boat solely using GPS?
So as it gets dark, every vessel is required to turn on their lights, navigational lights, red and green on the front, anchor light on the back. There's no set lanes, there's no set highways, there's no curbing on the water. So boats are free to travel in whatever direction they want, obviously except for going through channels. Channels is something that you have to stay between the markers for fear of running aground more than anything, causing damage to your boat. So that's why channels are marked, that's why they're called channels, and it's the safe way to navigate through shallow areas of the waterways. Twofold, for you to be safe, and number two, to not damage any of the waterways out there, to damage the sand flats or the corals or anything like that. A secondary thing is you never know what boats are coming, and GPS doesn't pick up boats. The only way you can pick up a boat is with a radar unit. And a radar unit only picks up a trail on it. So if you were solely to navigate your boat just by that, it would have to be a radar unit and a GPS unit as well. But it's you have to have your head on a swivel at all times looking for everybody coming different directions. It's literally pitch black out there with a little tiny red and green light on it and a white light on the back of the boat. And the lights definitely get lost in the city light backgrounds, so you don't see them all the time.
What about in the daytime? Would it be safe to navigate a vessel looking only at your GPS screen?
Again, same rules apply during the day. There is no lanes, there's nothing designated on which direction you have to go. So vessels are coming from all different directions out there. So you can't solely rely on just your GPS. You got to keep your head on a swivel, we always ride two persons to a boat, two officers to a boat. One is constantly navigating the boat, and the other one is looking out for other vessels as well. And we're constantly, we do it all the time. We warn each other all the time. And we obviously point out to each other, hey, you see the boat coming from the right, or you see the boat coming from the left? It's always a two-man system out there.
Are you familiar with the term navigational rules?
Yes.
Are boaters required to follow them?
You're supposed to follow the navigational rules. They don't always get followed, but yes, you're.
I'm sorry.
Yep, I'm sorry.
Objection to the question she said. You can go sidebar if you want.
You can rephrase.
Sure. Are you familiar with the navigational rules?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that what boaters are supposed to follow?
Yes, ma'am.
And beyond that, are you familiar with the navigational rule about lookouts?
I couldn't quote it to you, but yes, I know there is a navigational rule.
Can you explain what the importance of having a lookout is, based on your personal and professional boating experience?
Objection, Judge. Act foundation.
Ask a few more foundational questions if you can.
You just testified that you'll have other officers, at least it's a two-man unit at a minimum, a unit meaning a police boat.
Correct.
You'll have other officers there to help look for other items. Is that fair to say?
That's fair. There's debris floating in the water and stuff like that. So yes, everybody on the boat's keeping a lookout.
Okay. And is that to keep you safe?
Yes, ma'am.
And to keep other people safe?
Yes, ma'am.
Are the
Judge, can
rules...
we go sidebar, please?
Oh, dear. All right. Let's take it back to the question, and I believe there was an objection. That objection is overruled. You can proceed.
Thank you. Just backing up, in terms of having more than one person looking at where you're going, does that put you in a safer position?
Yes, ma'am.
And it puts other people in a safer position? Is that
Yes,
what you're
ma'am.
trying to say? Talking about navigating through channels, and I don't mean to ask you something too personal, but how old are you?
53.
And if you've been then boating since you were 13, that looks like maybe 39 years of boating experience.
Correct.
Let me ask you something. In those years, have you had to traverse channels in the water?
Yes.
Are there rules about what side of the channel you're supposed to operate your vessel on?
Not that I recall. I mean, it's general, as a general rule, people treat it just like the street.
Objection, Judge, again.
Okay, he doesn't have to call it, there's any rules.
In your experience,
In my experience, it's just like being on the street. Vessels going one direction would stay on the right-hand side. Vessels going the opposite direction would be on your left-hand side passing.
having had the perspective of both handling multiple traffic crashes on land and also investigating vessel crashes, albeit not fatal ones, on the waters, can you explain some of the challenges why a vessel crash could potentially be more dangerous even than a motor vehicle crash?
Objection, Judge.
Sustained.
In your experience, do boats have brakes?
No, they do not.
Do they have airbags?
No, they do not.
Are they equipped with seatbelts?
No.
How about a steel cage?
No.
Are boats made of fiberglass?
Yes, ma'am.
If you're ejected from a boat and you're not wearing a PFD, can you drown?
Yes, ma'am.
No other questions.
Boss?
Yes. Good afternoon, Detective.
Good afternoon, sir.
My name is Ed Armelino. I represent Mr. Pino. We've never met before, correct?
No, sir.
When you were transporting the girls, you said they were seated on the boat,
Yes, sir.
and they were on the floor of your boat too?
Some were on the floor, some were sitting on the center console.
And was that in the front of your boat?
Yes, sir.
And you testified that you were familiar with the ICW, the Intercoastal Waterway?
Yes, sir.
Very familiar, would you say?
I've traveled it several times.
Okay. And when you were transporting the girls on the bow of your boat, was that at night?
Yeah, well, the sun was going down. It started to get dark.
Okay. And you had no radar on the boat?
No, that vessel doesn't have radar.
Do you recall how fast you were going?
I didn't actually study again, I'm not looking at the GPS or anything like that. I would say no more than 40, 45, maybe at max, but I don't think I was going that fast. There was no urgency to rush to the island. None of my passengers were gravely injured at that point.
Okay. And you felt in those conditions that was a safe speed for you to travel?
Yes, sir.
A moment. Nothing further, Judge. Thank you.
Anything else?
When you were escorting those girls over to Elliott Key, did you have other officers that were serving as a lookout for you?
Yes, ma'am.
When you did that, well, let me ask, shift that day?
No, not at all. I don't drink. I've never had an alcoholic drink in my life.
And you have how many years of boating experience?
39 approximately.
Have you ever crashed into a channel marker?
No, ma'am.
Nothing else.
All right. The witness is going to remain under the subpoena. State will speak with you.
Yes, ma'am.
Be available, and your excuse at this time.
Thank you very much.
Very good. Thank you.
Based on our scheduling discussions earlier, I think we would stop here.
And it's named to his office for the jury. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I ask you to please put your notebooks back in your envelopes. We ask please to be here tomorrow, if you would. As close to 9 o'clock, I would ask you to be here by 10 of 9, actually, if you would. We're going to have a little bit of an earlier start. All right? Tomorrow, when you arrive, you're going to go to the jury's room, where they will bring you into the courtroom for us to begin our session. Then at that point, I will be giving you some instructions about our session tomorrow. We will be traveling, there will be a jury view of the vessel involved in this matter. And we will be transporting you, we have a bus to transport you, and we will be in the company of Renee. I will give you more instructions tomorrow to the location, but please, we'll come here. We will begin the session, make sure everyone is here. We'll start the session. I'll give you additional instructions. and then we will go on our jury view, and then you will all return back to the courthouse, back to the courtroom, probably get back here in time for lunch. Okay? Then we will have an afternoon session. So I wanted to give you a heads up about that. Nothing really special. I would say maybe wear more comfortable shoes, because we'll be walking a little bit in an area, and I'll have some water for you, and I think that's there's nothing else in terms of special instructions. Okay. Well, you may want to bring an umbrella, but if I see that the weather is inclement, then we will go to the rain date for the jury view. We're scheduling this for tomorrow morning, and we hope to leave here probably about 9:20, 9:30 the latest. Okay? Please remember, you see or hear anything about this case, or you think it's about this case, ignore it. Don't read it. Don't watch it. Don't listen to it. Please don't go on social media to either post anything or to see if there's any information about this case. Don't do any research. Don't do any Googling to try to get information outside the courtroom. None of that is evidence. Evidence is only what you're receiving in the courtroom. It's all you can consider with the law that I will instruct you on to ultimately make your decisions. Okay? I think I've covered everything, and we'll see you tomorrow morning. I would ask you to be here by 10 of 9. If there's any issues, you're running late, please make sure to let us know. Have a pleasant evening. Take your notebooks with you. Please be seated. So that everything's clear tomorrow, that Mr. Pino we would start session just like we've been starting session. And then if you would like me to instruct the jury at all about Mr. Pino going with us or not going with us, I will. I'll leave that to you if you think it's necessary. I'll certainly let the jury know. Okay? Who do we have? We have an idea for the afternoon, who we might be having as witnesses. Okay. Well, what we want to be clear about is, if any of those witnesses, again, I think it has to do mostly with the body-worn camera, to make sure that if there's evidence through a body-worn camera, any other physical evidence that you intend to introduce, that if there are excerpts, okay, then we can get ahead of the question of what you're going to introduce. And if there are excerpts that the defense intends to introduce of a body-worn camera through any of the state's witnesses that are remaining, and again, you're not required to, I'm not going to order you to do that, then I would like to have either one or two things, either the opportunity again for the defense to be able to authenticate whatever the additional evidence might be, so that they might be able to, through cross-examination, present whatever evidence, which we allow that. That's not the typical function, but we allow it. And if not, it's perfectly fine, but then to make sure that the defense understands they will have to bring, like one or two witnesses today, will have to bring the witness when you start your case. Okay? So that's why I'm asking.
I understand now. And And I don't anticipate tomorrow there'll be any body worn camera footage.
Okay. All right, so we should,
Does that include, there's also Lieutenant Thompson where they did drone footage, they did that whole experiment on the water. Is that tomorrow?
I think that there'll be some footage from the recreation yard, yes.
okay. All right, so that's, you're going to take excerpted portions of the recreation, or you're gonna play the whole?
No, because each time the vessel goes through the channel, I don't know, maybe it's like a minute or so. So there's just footage from the drone of Lieutenant Thompson piloting his vessel through the channel. And so it's not that there's clips, it's just,
It's one video.
no,
Oh,
there's multiple videos because the vessel was run through the channels on different times, and the drone was placed in different locations to film the vessel traversing the channel below.
okay. Does that mean it's the entirety of the drone footage that you're gonna present, or there are segments of the event today? One is 6 segments.
It's different than body worn camera,
Okay.
which lasts, say, an hour long, and you select clips from it.
Okay.
What this is there were specific times, okay, like clip one or video one, probably more precisely. Video one might be, for example, the drone is at the southern end of the channel, and the vessel is traveling south toward it. Video 2 might be the drone is in the northern part of the channel and follows behind the vessel as it traverses the channel. So there's different videos. It's not that they're clips so much because they're not part of a larger or longer video.
Okay. From what you have of the
Yes.
drone video, let's take the totality of the drone video. Is it your intention to introduce all of the drone video? If it's not, that's fine too. But there may be aspects of the drone video that the defense might want to present. And rather than attempted authentication in court, just want to make sure that the defense understands that, and they would have to have that witness back to present whatever else of the drone video footage that might not have been shown that they would like the jury to see in their case. That's the reason for the question.
So to clarify, it sounds like, I'm quite sure, the same event might be recorded by different cameras, different angles. It could be a drone, it could be a pole cam, it could be a camera on a boat. I don't know how many of those the state is using, but they created it and gave it to us. This is not an authentication issue.
No, I didn't say it's their, it's what they created.
Correct, and they turned it over to us as part of their discovery obligation. This is not about authentication. They are obviously authentic.
Okay, but it was different from mine, because you then created separate,
We just took a smaller portion of what they produced to us.
and created essentially your own, but it's the same information.
We didn't create anything. We simply proposed to publish only a smaller
I got
portion
you,
of it.
I understand the whole thing. We don't have to make this more complicated than what it
Exactly.
is, okay?
They had,
Present your evidence tomorrow.
I will.
Make sure you have the witnesses that you are going to be presenting or attempting to present any evidence through, subpoenaed, and ready to testify. If you cannot, through any of the witnesses, present defense evidence, okay?
I'm just perplexed why counsel thinks that just because the state turns something over in discovery, that that's the same thing as authentication from the witness.
Okay, we don't need to discuss it anymore. It's clear what happened today.
I think it's gonna be
It's-
discussed again.
Well, no, it's
I
not.
understand.
It's not going to be discussed.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you, Judge.
Okay, so, have your witnesses subpoenaed, whatever your evidence is that you wish to introduce. If it's something that is not presented during direct examination, and you would like to get it in through the witness that's testifying, you'll present that witness as your witness at the appropriate time. Is there anything else?
Yes, Judge, it's 403 or 408?
Well, I think I'm gonna make an independent intended trip myself,
Okay.
to just get a feel, and I can email everyone as to what I see, if there's any potential difficulties.
So I should advise FWC that you'll be there?
Yes, at some point, in the next hour or so.
Yeah, no, I know, just so I can give them a rough ETA.
If you would,
Of course.
you know,
So
before
we're-
5:30.
We're excused from that event?
Yes. We have, and did, Sergeant Lopez, did he come in to see you?
He did, and I provided him with the information he asked me
Sergeant
for.
Lopez is the Miami-Dade police officer who is going to be escorting us and driving the van with the jurors and with Renee. So, but he needed his the contact person so that we get there and we don't have a locked gate. We know we're coming, and we know we're going. But he's going to be in communication. So, for everyone else's benefit, I expect that we would probably start afternoon session about 1:30. That's an estimate, assuming we are relatively close to the schedule in terms of our jury view. Because once we get back, I think there'll be time for the jurors to have lunch, and then we'll work through the afternoon for whatever number of hours and see where we go. All right, I think I've handled everything at least for today, and nothing else then, we will be in recess. Thank you.
Vanessa, you know I write the attorney's name down. After.